The Purple Balloon is a book that grew out of a conversation I had with a woman named Anne Armstrong Daly, who created Children's Hospice International. And this is an organization that she created it here in Washington. An organization that is politically active, but also active in all things related to making the lives of children and families of those children, children with life-ending situations, mostly illnesses of some kind. And well, the reason she started this group, as I understand it, was that while there was a lot going on for adults in this situation, and a lot of thought and a lot of work and thinking about it, when it came to children, there was much less. And partly that was the case because parents are so understandably and necessarily involved, and it's not just you who might be dying. You have a strong voice as an adult. A child does not have that strong voice, and it has to come through the parents. The parents, of course, are completely wrapped up in that child, and often the other aspect of that situation, as I have come to know from Anne, is that the child is often leading the parents, and the child often is the one who is comforting the parents, showing the parents where we are going, understanding what's happening more than the parents, because it's too impossible for the parents to do. So Anne said, I want a book about this. Initially, I said, I thought she was just asking me for advice as someone who works in children's books, and I gave her my best thoughts. And then I spoke to Ann Schwartz and Lee Wade at Schwartz and Wade, and they were intrigued, and they said, all right, but you have to do the book. I was thinking maybe it would be a number of illustrators. That seemed to make sense, but Anne said, no, you make this book. So suddenly I thought, well, I'll see if I can do it. I have worked with different children over the years, and I have a number of close friends who died as young people, who were exactly in that situation. So I felt like I could do it, maybe. And my initial approach was to make it about a particular boy that I know and who has passed away. And he had a muscular atrophy kind of situation, and he was a great wheelchair hockey player. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll just kind of channel his own self, and so the book began with the very first lines were, "Death sucks, but hockey rocks." And it went on from there, went through his day. Well, Anne was a little aghast at this, but Anne Schwartz, I should say. But Anne Armstrong Daly said, yeah, right, great. But she also said she did hope that it would be a more broad book that could encompass all kinds of children, not just a boy who happens to like hockey. And I understood that. So I said, okay, I'll try it. At that point, somewhere in there, in a meeting with Anne and Lee, and it did cross, I think right at the meeting, it crossed my mind, well, let's make it actually anthropomorphic balloons, since this is about this notion of many children see themselves as a rising balloon or a rising sphere, often purple for some reason. So let's go with that. And that is when I thought of doing the book that way. But even then, it was very painful to me to start doing it, actually, because to be good, it had to be emotional, and I have a son. I got very emotional making the book. So it was a hard thing to do. I wanted everything to be very child-oriented in a sense. So it was potato prints with watercolor, pencil, and all printed on kind of backgrounds that were printed from wood planks that I painted with color and then pressed paper onto. So it was all kind of simple, a little bit organic. And then it is the story of a child who dies. And the other point that Anne wanted me to make in the book was that many, many people become involved in this. And doctors, teachers, the parents, cousins, uncles, aunts, clergy people. And that's how it should be, and that's how it is. And so this is what happened with this book.